How we doing on this Thursday, Vol Nation? Frank, House of Orange Sports Channel. We're less than 2 weeks out till the start of fall camp. And, SEC Media Days this week. Tennessee really not a lot of media expecting much out of Tennessee this year as far as – I don't even know what they're expecting much as far as them getting a playoff berth this year, to be honest with it. But at the same time, I don't think they're looking at these schedules thoroughly either. But anyhow, with fall camp coming up, the talk's going to be about the quarterback competition. I talked about that some yesterday. I recorded something on it. I'll link that at the end if you want to check that out and have not already. But there's going to be other positions. I mean, wide receivers it's an unproven unit, the wide receiver unit. What kind of steps can the offensive line take? Because you're going to be without Cooper Mays, which will be a big loss this year. How can this team overcome the loss of him? You lost Dylan Sampson, your SEC Offensive Player of the Year. You lost, James Pierce Jr. to the draft. And you lost other players as well. Jermod McCoy coming back off of injury. How soon will he be back? There's plenty of questions on this team. But make no mistake about it, when you look through it, there's a lot of talent on here as well. And, based on what came out this week, Tennessee is – they're paying like the 10th highest amount for any roster in the country. They did a lot to keep their roster intact this past season. Of course, obviously they lost Nico, but there were other guys like Mike Matthews, Boo Carter, and that was just a couple of them. Ricky Gibson, that was just a few of them that were more publicized than not. How many guys behind the scenes did we not hear anything about that they had to work to keep in the fold as well? And then, of course, you added the transfers in who should come in and help. But looking at all this as well, and I've kind of looked at both sides, and there are lots of questions, but I've really come up with about 7 to 8 guys on it. So I may go 3 asterisks here on it, but I'm going my 5 guys that I'm looking at, not to cook hamburgers and French fries. My 5 guys I'm looking at to break out this year. Make sure you hit that like, share. It is free to subscribe as well. Going to start with the offense. There really a lot of my breakouts are on defense, but I've got 2 guys. I'm not going to take Mike Matthews. I think Mike Matthews is a breakout candidate, but I feel like that's expected. I'm going a little more under the radar, I guess you could say. I'm not taking true freshmen. I'm not taking any guys that are going to be seniors. I'm looking for that 2nd to 3rd year. That's that time where we start to see guys take that next step that maybe haven't at this point. Running back. I'm starting at running back here. Now, based on what we've seen out of the roster, and the main guys coming back, you got Deshaun Bishop, you've got Peyton Lewis, you got Star Thomas coming in. I was wanting to look at Bishop. He is not my breakout guy. Peyton Lewis is my guy to break out on it. But I am excited to see what Deshaun Bishop does this year as well. He ran hard, and from everything else, he's listed at 5'10", 208. And from what they have said, you can really tell this guy's gotten it. He is in excellent shape. He's just shredded, evidently, from what's been said. But he's going to have a good year, Deshaun Bishop. I'm looking at Peyton Lewis, though. We started seeing more of him last year as the year went along. He's got good size at 6'1", 212 is what he's listed on the current roster. And his speed, he was a track runner out of high school. He stuck around. He put in the work. Coach Sims, I like him. I think he's done an excellent job with the running backs. I'm looking at Peyton Lewis to have a big year this year. Now, it'll be curious because Tennessee's had, 3,000-yard rushers they've had so far under Heupel since he's taken over at Tennessee. I know you had Dylan Sampson. You had Jalen Wright. And I'm trying to think who the other one was off the top of my head. But anyhow, Tennessee's going to run the football with it. Will they split some more? I don't think it will be as top-heavy as it was with Dylan Sampson last year. But Lewis, I like what he brings to the table. I like what Bishop brings as well. Don't get me wrong on that. But Lewis' size, his speed, I think they could be big. And especially if this offensive line, I'm going to talk more about the offensive line as we work toward fall camp here. But this offensive line, I like the potential of it. I really like the potential. Will there be some growing pains along the way? Sure. You're starting a true freshman at right tackle, and I don't care how high he's ranked. There's going to be those moments in SEC play where he's probably going to get welcomed, but he's going to win more than he's going to lose. Let's put it that way. David Sanders Jr., that is. Lewis, I like a lot. I like his potential in it. Probably the most questioned and unproven position on the team is wide receiver. Chris Brazel, he returns the most. Matthews, I mean, he got a little run here and there last year, so I'm not using those, but we saw a little glimpse in the playoff game against Ohio State. Braylon Staley played in the slot. He did some good things in that game. I think he's going to have a big year in the slot. I feel like we're going to see a guy in the slot now who will catch it and actually get yards after the catch and not go down with it. Kind of funny with me saying that. I saw a highlight a couple days ago from the Orange Bowl, 3 years ago, where Joe Milton hit Squirrel White. And what did Squirrel White do? He caught it and hit the ground short of the goal line. I think Jalen Wright ran it in like maybe the next play. But still, yeah, it was him and leaving his feet. I don't know what was up with Squirrel White in that. I don't expect Braylon Staley to be leaving his feet unless he gets knocked off of his feet this year. He's got big-time speed. He's got more size. He is listed on the roster right now. Let me see if I can find where he's at. Right here we go. 6 foot 190. Not bad size. Not especially for slot. That's a pretty good size. I'm expecting with his size, his speed, he's going to be able to get some mismatches in that slot. I like his potential this year, and I'm expecting I would expect out of the gate against Syracuse. You know, if we're getting adequate quarterback play, which I expect we will, Staley's name will be heard against Syracuse. Mark my word on it. I could probably go, you know, a guy like an Ethan Davis. I'm curious to see how he does this year. I think that he'll take a step this year as well. But that's my two guys on offense, Peyton Lewis, Braylon Staley. Now look on defense. I've got 5 guys listed here, but I'm going to look at 3. I'll give my 2 asterisks on it. Edwin Spillman to me, ideal on it. We would have seen him a lot more last year if he was not hurt. You know, the video, the times we had on it, William Inge just talked about it. Edwin Spillman will absolutely knock the piss out of you and not think twice about it. Now, you know, with that, you got to have some technique. You can't beat Jeremy Banks and get a 15-yard penalty or 2 every game either. Got to be more controlled discipline with it. And I'm not saying Spillman's not. I'm just saying he will knock the crap out of you and go forward. But I think Spillman, I look for Arion Carter to really take a step this year. I expect him to lead that defense. You know, growing pains with that unit a little bit last year, but it was inexperienced. This year, I expect that linebacking unit to take a big step. Arion Carter is going to be the man in the middle. Don't get me wrong on that. I'm expecting Edwin Spillman to be the guy, though, that's going to be hard to keep out of that lineup. I just really think he is. Next guy I'm looking for, and this was a highly recruited guy coming in. We've seen him sparingly, is Caleb Herring. I think this is Caleb Herring's year to break out with it. James Pierce is gone. I expect Joshua Josephs to do big things this year. Caleb Herring, the time is now for him. He's entering his 3rd year. He'll be relied upon more. I expect we'll see him take that step this year as well. And I've got 3 here that I really like. And one is more based on off of his ranking coming in. I'll mention him last. Man, I could go a couple. I said I'm going 5. I'm going to go, I think Caleb Beasley. I like Caleb Beasley. It sounds like he's going to get a run at safety. Now, will it be him or Farouk, who's at safety? Caleb Beasley was a guy, 4-star recruit coming in. Tennessee really wanted him. They got him. I feel like he can bring something to the table at that safety spot, and the fact that they moved him there. Now, again, it could be Farouk there, but I'm going to go Caleb Beasley on that. I like his potential to get into that secondary and really be a big part of it this year. Two other guys I mentioned, though, I said I wanted to go asterisks here. David Hobbs is one at defensive tackle. Lost some players at the end of last season, returned some players, some good players this year as well. Hobbs was a big recruiting win for Rodney Garner 3 years ago. I'm looking for him this year to really kind of hit his stride and do his thing. And the one I'm looking at potential-wise, and I said I'm looking at this one more based on really his ranking coming in, and that's Jordan Ross. I'm wanting to see what Jordan Ross does. Is this similar to James Pierce Jr. in year 2, where, Pierce his freshman year, not a whole lot maybe, but then once you got to sophomore year, I mean, Pierce was one of the best pass rushers in the whole country. Maybe took a little step back his junior year, but I don't think it was him. I think it was more he was getting double held. He was getting double teamed, and he was getting held like crazy last year. So, I mean, when you got guys with a handful of jersey and getting double teamed, it's really – he impacted the game more than people thought last year. But Jordan Ross is that guy this year I'm looking for to take that step. Again, top 20 player, depending on it, 5-star ranking coming in. Is this his year? Here, 6'5", 245, good size on it. I'm looking for this to be Jordan Ross, that guy. We've got some options, man. I'm telling you, there's some players on it. And I think I've kind of accumulated a bunch of content ideas leading up to fall camp. And, I'll kind of talk about those along the way. That's really kind of where I'm at with football, is just doing a lot of content. I really don't know that I'm going to do any live content for football this year. It may just all be recorded stuff. I'll see where I go on that, if there's any other ideas with it, because I've said it before. I will put my coverage up against anybody's, all right, as far as talking it. But at the same time, I'm realistic and knowing it's a saturated market. But definitely going to bring plenty of stuff leading up to fall camp for the next couple of weeks, whether it's breakout candidates, whether we look at offense, whether we look at specific positions along the way. But I've got a whole list of stuff that I'm excited that we'll look at here coming up. We'll break down the schedule. We'll look at the portal guys coming in. We may dive into, a fall depth chart projection. We'll look at freshmen that Phil can come in and having an immediate impact this year as well. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. I'm looking forward to talking it. I've got time coming up, and, it's almost ready to rock and roll. It is almost football time in Tennessee. Less than 2 weeks away from fall camp. You guys have a great rest of your Thursday. Frank, House of Orange. I'll see you when I see you.